So one of my last videos a while ago, I talked about Cathie Woods expecting the Fed tapering. What happened? Well, the Fed looks to be a little bit more aggressive than people than she had imagined. Looks like they're going to be continuing to raise interest rates, or at least somewhat aggressive, for the next 2 or 3 months. Now, if you think there's a weird dichotomy going on here between the omnibus spending bill that was passed during the lame duck session, which is basically anywhere from pretty to wildly inflationary, arguably a pork barrel stimulus package, more or less, and the Fed raising interest rates, trying to taper the money supply, you would be correct. That is very dichotomous. Those are two actions that contradict each other. So we're in an environment that isn't quite clear what actions our government really wants to take. But it looks like the Fed is going to be somewhat aggressive for at least the next 2 to 3 months. There will become a time where they will start tapering off, though. The Fed creates headwinds for crypto because when they decrease the money supply, one of the first things to not happen is money doesn't go pouring into crypto. When money is loose and easy, money goes pouring into crypto. So crypto could be potentially stagnant for the next couple of months. I wouldn't expect necessarily a bull market in crypto. It could happen, but I wouldn't expect it. The thing is, now is the time. If you follow any good investor, Warren Buffett says this routinely: when there is blood in the water, when everybody is terrified, when fear is rampant, that's when I get greedy. You get greedy when others are fearful. And now is the best time to get greedy in crypto because we're at the tail end of a bear market. The bear market could go on for a few more months, but you are seeing really, really, really cheap cryptocurrencies. At some point, the Fed will start tapering off. Money will come pouring back into crypto. And a lot of these stagnant coins or coins that have dropped 70% are going to start rising again really quickly and really fast. That's the beauty of crypto. One of the things I was talking about with Cathie Woods. Okay, so with Cathie Woods, she has 5 areas of innovation that she thinks are going to be the real movers in the economy. Robotics, artificial intelligence, energy storage, blockchain, which is what we were talking about with crypto, and what was the 5th one? I forget what the 5th one was. Now, I've analyzed her top 10 holdings for ARK investments. Some of you may already know this. Zoom is her number one, Zoom Communications, and she's got stuff like Tesla, things that you would expect mostly, Teladoc, Unity Software, Roku, Shopify, Block, which is Square. Of those, I'm invested in Unity Software, Tesla, and Square. Now, those have all been hammered over the last year. That's what happens with crypto, and that's what happens with her type of innovative investments, high risk, high growth, high reward investments. When there are, when times are tough, these are not defensive plays at all. These are the exact opposite of defensive plays. So you should expect them to drop anywhere from 50 to 70%, and that's exactly what's been happening. There's another type of investor who is a defensive investor, but they are by nature a lot more conservative. They don't invest in crypto at all. They're not here. They're not buying crypto at all. So now is the time, if you are looking at crypto, is to put some buys down. Now, I say Solana. People say, you're crazy for Solana. No, not at all. What moves the needle in crypto, what is moving the markets in crypto, and keep in mind the market caps for crypto are minuscule. You are talking about something like Apple. I think the market cap these days is north of $1 trillion, which means so much money needs to pour into Apple to move it up 15 percentage points. It's almost unbelievable. When we are talking about crypto, some of these market caps are as small as 100 million. Which means 3 guys could make big buys in that particular coin or that particular project, and that can move the market cap overnight. That's why you see these ridiculous run-ups in crypto where like 1,000% within the course of a few months, because the market caps are so small. It doesn't take all that much to make something go parabolic. A good word on YouTube may do it. So one of the things, the two that I've always been touting the most, I think the most promising, Polygon and Solana. Nothing's really changed. With Solana, the only thing that's changed is the sentiment about Solana. So it's been beaten down, but nothing's really changed in terms of the projects. The name of the game in cryptocurrency, okay, is now and probably will be for the foreseeable future applications, dApps. You can't go wrong with the layer ones. All of the layer ones are potentially really good innovations. At some point, the money is going to come pouring back into crypto. Think of it like real estate. I grew up right outside New York City. New York City is the most valuable real estate in the world. Why? Because of how much activity is packed into so sort of a space. That is what ultimately is going to happen with the layer ones and what ultimately is going to happen with crypto. You got something like Ethereum. It's the dApps, the activity, the daily active users and the applications being built on the network. That's the name of the game. That's where the run-up in price and value come from. Now that was the reason why Solana was a marquee name, is because they are second only to Ethereum in terms of daily active users and applications, speed of applications, and how fast they're growing out their network. I don't think anything's changed along those lines. So Solana's gotten beaten down a lot because it was heavily involved in a name that came up a lot in this SBF scandal, partially because some of the huge run-up in Solana was because of Alameda Research was pumping it. And if you know Alameda Research, that was the research the research arm of Sam Bankman-Fried's scam company. he would steal your crypto, send it to Alameda Research, and they would, spend it, basically gamble it away. But one of the reasons why Solana was shot up to $250 is they were pumping Solana constantly. So that's why Solana has been so tarnished. It was caught up in this SBF. It's heavily associated with scam Bankman-Fried. But right now, Solana is effectively battle tested. And it's down to something like $9. Now, it could easily go lower. Don't get me wrong. I'm talking about a 3-year time horizon. I'm not talking about a 4-month time horizon. If you're trying to make money in the next 4 months, avoid Solana like the plague. What I'm talking about is at some point, I think Solana will recover. It's been battle tested. And when it recovers, nothing significant has changed in terms of its applications. There was a couple of NFTs move ship. Some of their biggest name NFTs have moved, but a little bit has changed, but not that much. Prior to the Sam Bankman-Fried thing, there was some really, really bullish announcements about Polygon in particular and Solana. They had inked deals with Google and Instagram, and these deals were potentially really lucrative. So those two are still in the running for the next bull market. And Solana has a lot of upside, a lot of potential upside. That's the point. When there's blood in the water, when everybody else says that's the worst thing, that's the worst project in the history of the world, that's when you go, maybe I'll buy in. Now, in regular investing, it's very different. Why? Because regular investing, if a stock is down 60, 70%, sometimes that's usually an indication that something is way wrong with the company. You're never going to see Apple drop 70% anytime soon. You've seen it with Tesla and you've seen it with some of these high growth, high value stocks, but that's because those are different types of entities. Crypto can drop 70%, and if that scares you, you shouldn't be in crypto. So Solana is down. But I don't think Solana is going. I think Solana is here to stay. I think it's been battle tested. I could be wrong. Keep that in the back of your mind. But $9, it could get as low as $3, and then you are going to see the lowest possible price you will ever see for that project in the next 3 to 4 years. Could easily go back up to $50 and then $100. Why? Nothing has changed in terms of the applications, in terms of how much people are building out on the network. Nothing fundamentally has changed, or not very much. So are you looking at a potentially way undervalued project? And ditto for Polygon. Now, all of the layer ones are potentially lucrative investments. They all have some benefits to them, and they all have some downsides to them. But basically, any marquee name layer one that you have heard of is potentially a lucrative investment. Think of it like real estate. If this were real estate, if this were New York City, this would be New York City circa 1781, where nothing has been built. You buy up everything. Buy. Why? Because tons of activity is pouring into the space. That is exactly what is happening in cryptocurrency. That is why this is the best investing opportunity you will ever see in your lifetime. And it really is. Now, if we go back to Cathie Wood for a second. So she says 5 key areas of innovation. Blockchain, which is crypto, robotics, artificial intelligence, energy storage. I believe that she's essentially correct in all of those, and that her ARC research does a lot of research, so they know whereof they speak. Now, blockchain is the most promising from my point of view because it is the most the most potentially, the smallest amount of money can give you the astronomical returns. That just does not happen like that in the stock market. So when you see a coin that is potentially tomorrow's marquee name, some of these coins started out at, 1,000 for a penny, 1,000 for a penny. And then they wind up at $5 a coin or $50 a coin. That is potential return on investment like nothing you could possibly imagine. And eventually, maybe not in the next 4 or 5 months, but eventually the bull market will return to cryptocurrency. So I would say now is the time to put your money on the table and get ready. That's how I see it. So there you have it, kids. That is all.